Courtney stirred in bed with a yawn. It was the day of the golf tournament. She glanced at her clock. It read 7:30, and went downstairs for breakfast. "Morning, Mom," she said cheerily. "Hi, honey," came the drowsy reply. "Are you all ready for the tournament today?" "Of course," Courtney said. She poured herself some Wheaties, and moved towards the refrigerator for milk. "I have a feeling we'll win today." "What makes you think that?" "We're the best." Courtney smiled, and her mother smiled back. "Of course you are, honey. Do a good job. I'm going back to bed, now that I know you're up. Good luck, and make me proud." Her mother kissed her on the cheek, and then left the room. Courtney ate breakfast quickly, and was almost ready to leave when the phone rang. "Hello." "Hey, it's Tiffany," came a voice. "Tiffany?" Courtney hadn't seen Tiffany since last year. She hadn't come back to school after 11th grade for some reason. "Yeah, it's me. I thought I'd wish you luck at the golf tournament," she said. "Tiff, I haven't talked to you in a year. Where have you been?" A pause. "I can't really say. Hey, maybe I'll see you at the course, okay?" The conversation ended with a click as she hung up. Courtney frowned into the receiver, and hung up the phone. She didn't have time to think about it now. She had to be at the course at 9:45. She made her way to the garage, and loaded her clubs into the back of her Blazer. She got in, and set off for Hidden Hills Golf and Country Club. Melanie looked at her list, checking off the first item. She looked at her passenger, and told her to sit tight. Melanie put the car into gear, and headed to the golf course. Courtney pulled in next to a red Camaro, similar to Melanie's. But why would she be her? Courtney dismissed the thought, and climbed out of the car, getting her clubs. She made her way to the clubhouse, and checked in with the starter so she was registered as present. She then moved to the driving range, and began to warm up. She thought she saw someone familiar sitting in a wheelchair at the end of the practice area, but dismissed the thought as ludicrous. She didn't know anybody that couldn't walk. The girl held her interest though. She was being wheeled around by someone in a white jumpsuit. They were headed toward the parking lot, meeting a blue Ford Windstar. 2 people climbed out of the front, and unloaded 3 more wheelchairs out of the car. The van pulled away, and left the parking lot. 3 more people appeared from various cars in the parking lot, each taking a wheelchair. They followed the first woman, presumably going about their business. "Maybe they're here to see the tournament together," she said to herself. She continued hitting, noting her swing was perfect right now. If she played this well at tee time, she was set. Melanie parked the first wheelchair in the observer booth on the first hole, and left its occupant there by herself. She walked back over to the group of 3 she had left on the cart path. "Leave her at number 3, she said, pointing to a blonde-haired girl, her at number 4, pointing to the second, and her at number 5. The last was another blonde, natural or not. The 3 walked away, moving towards their destinations. Melanie walked back to the clubhouse, and picked up the scorecard for the player she was to accompany. Courtney. Everything was working out perfectly. Melanie walked outside, looking for Courtney on the driving range. She must have finished. Melanie walked around, checking for her bag. There it is. She kneeled over, and slipped several disposables into the long pocket down the side of the bag. Melanie checked the water bottle, and emptied its contents into the bushes. She looked around, making sure no one had seen her. She opened a small packet of powder into the bottle, and then mixed it with more water from the water fountain. She shook it up, making sure the powder was evenly mixed inside the bottle. She returned it to the grip on the side the bag, and waited for Courtney to arrive. It didn't take long. "What are you doing here?" Courtney said in greeting. "I'm your caddy for the day," Melanie said, smiling. Courtney frowned. "Don't try anything cute," Courtney said. "I've got my eye on you." Courtney walked back away, socializing with more of the golfers. Melanie looked at her watch, noting the time. The next 4 should be here soon. That would make 7, leaving 5 more after this group. Everything was going great. The starter siren wailed, and Melanie lifted the bag of clubs up. Courtney walked over, tagging along with her caddy. The 2 made small talk up to the tee box, and waited patiently in line to tee off. Melanie looked at her watch again. The second group should be in place by now. She hardly noticed Courtney walk up to the tee box and bark at her for a 3-wood. She quickly complied, handing the club over. Courtney took a swig off the drink Melanie had mixed and began to tee up her shot. Her swing was fluid, connecting firmly with the ball, driving it into the middle of the fairway, right in front of the observer box. Perfect, they both thought, each for different reasons.